Genius. Fluke. Tired of owning all my sins, so I'm never going back to where I've been. Hi everyone, it's Dave here. A friend of mine's just asked me to write a song for a short film that he's working on. If he likes the song, it'll be used in the final scene and over the closing credits. The only brief I got was that it was the character is about to enter a sort of a new chapter, and also that it would be a rollicking, sort of uplifting tempo or feel that the character might be able to dance to a little bit in the final scene. When I was writing home, I came up with a lyric in my head which is, I'm never going back to where I've been. And I've also just got some chords, some really simple chords. I'm going to keep it pretty basic. So I'm starting from that, and let's get the trusty guitar out. I'm just going to try and see if I can. I feel like that line might be the end of a verse. You'd sing some stuff and then you finish with, I'm never going back to where I've been. So I thought that that line would be, I've played this just before I started recording. I'm never going back to where I've been. So that's what I got so far. And I got some chords. Really basic. I'm writing 2 4 bars, by the way, without even knowing it now. There's just 2 4 bars coming out of me, left, right, and center. Anyway, that's not important. So I've got that first line, which I think will be the end of the verse. I'm never going back to where I've been. Let's see where we can go. When I think about moving on to a new chapter, the strongest feeling I get is about walking or moving to a new place, a physical place, which signifies or is perhaps a metaphor for a different stage or a different state of mind or whatever. So I'm kind of picturing this person walking, going for a long walk. Yeah, so walking. If you're walking, what's bad about walking? What would free you up if you were walking? God, I hope this works. What are the cons of walking? Hot sun, too far to go. It's too far to go. What about carrying a heavy weight? He's not heavy, he's my brother. Carrying things that have been on my mind. I think maybe it needs to be something a bit more of a metaphor. Something dark that you've been carrying. Carrying fears, carrying doubts about what's happened in the years. No, carrying something dark, shadows. Carrying shadows I don't want to feel. Carrying shadows is not bad, not feel. Just carrying shadows I don't need to keep. Carrying, does that make sense? Carrying shadows I don't need to keep. That's pretty good. Getting that down. Okay, I've got 2 lines now. Focus. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm carrying shadows. I'm walking away to a new life. I've been carrying shadows that I don't need to keep. I think I need to say 2 things bad and then 2 things to balance that out about, well, stuff that, I'm going to think more positively. So I need to say maybe one more thing that's about my problems, or the problems that I've been having. So maybe not facing up to things. Just by the way, I'm going to cut this so it looks like I did it a lot quicker than I actually really did. But you know that already. Maybe running from the truth. Sometimes it's just good to just go word salad and see if the meaning comes later. But something about the truth. I'm just going to go with truth. Not facing the truth. Truth keeps me awake at night. Truth has been keeping me awake at night. That's not a bad image. The truth. Carrying shadows I don't need to keep. Truth's been really playing with my sleep. Clumsy. But I like the idea of the truth interrupting my sleep. The truth's around and it disturbs my sleep. What about the truth's a knife and it cuts my sleep? The truth's a knife and it cuts my sleep. The truth's a knife and it cuts my sleep. That's not bad. I like that. But what's better when it cuts my sleep. So sometimes I sleep well and sometimes I don't. Truth's a knife when it cuts my sleep. That's good. Good, Davey. Let's recap. Carrying shadows I don't need to keep. Truth's a knife when it cuts my sleeve. With 2 4 bars. So far so good. Now I've got to go to the positive side of things. Why am I looking at myself for inspiration? That's not going to help. Look into the middle distance. Truth's a knife when it cuts my sleep. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm done with it. This is my deep bit. I'm tired of all this shit. Tired of feeling guilty. Tired of all this guilt and shame. Tired of all these guilt and sins. Tired of committing all those sins. No. Tired of owning all my sins. Tired of owning all my sins. Tired of owning all my sins. And then never going back to where I've been. Actually, when I think about it, sometimes this happens, and I love it when this happens. My second, hang on. Don't want to forget. Sometimes you write 2 lyrics, and then only after you've written the 2 lyrics, you realize that they made more sense than you knew that they did at the time. And what I mean by that in this example is, I said something about my sleep. The truth's a knife when it cuts my sleep. So I'm having trouble sleeping. And then, hey presto, I'm tired. So I'm tired as in I'm weary, but also I'm tired because the truth's been interrupting my sleep. Genius. Fluke. So yeah, interrupting my sleep, and I'm tired of owning all my sins. And then it fits, then the next thing is I'm not going back to where I've been. I like that. So I'm walking away. I've been carrying things I don't need to keep. The truth about what's happened or someone else's truth has been interrupting my sleep sometimes. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of owning my sins. I reckon sins, when I say sins, I mean in inverted commas sins, like, you know, what you might call sins. They're not sins. I'm a good person. Okay. This is what I got. I think I've got a verse. I think this is a verse. Carrying shadows I don't need to keep. The truth's a knife when it cuts my sleeve. Tired of owning all my sins. So I'm never going back to where I've been. Good start. Wonder where we'll go from there. Let's find out.